what we do in ceremony, what we say at Rythmia in ceremony is that there are three intentions for ceremony. The first intention is show me who I've become, merge me with my soul, and heal my heart. Those are our three intentions. Really, right now, the whole world is doing an ayahuasca ceremony. The whole world is in ceremony because this unprecedented world event is showing us who we've become. It's showing us, boom, right there, who have we become? Can we go back to the old way of being? Or is it a new world? Is it a new world that we're stepping into? I would say that no, we can't go back. We can't go back to the way things were before. We're going to be in a much more harmonious way of living. This has brought us together. There's no more borders. This virus knows no borders. There's no countries. There's just the planet. This is a worldwide event. So we are never going to be the same again because we have come together in a different level. We're probably going to see that who we had become was unsustainable. Who we as a people, as a species had become, receiving our vegetables year-round, strawberries year-round, all these things, right? No more seasonal vegetables. Things weren't local. I think now we're seeing that there's going to be much more emphasis on local, on the way we get our medicine, the way we produce things, and we'll still be global. We'll still be global in communication and lots of other aspects, and I think we'll see a lot of things changing. So this has shown us who we've become. This has also merged us with our soul. The act of seeing who we've become is the act of merging with our soul. The act of seeing who we've become is the act of returning to a state of wholeness, returning to a state of oneness. And in that way, this event, this worldwide event, is helping us to return to a state of wholeness, to return to a state of realization that we are one with everything, that there's no separation, that we've moved outside of the me plan and me versus separate from you to a general understanding of who we are as a species. So we've come back to a state of wholeness. And in the process, we're healing our hearts. We're taking this time. So this is what I really wanted to talk about today in terms of I am the miracle, is that we're all doing ceremony. This is one big ceremony. And what we get out of it is up to us. Now, there has been a huge emphasis on, I know for myself, I set some big expectations for all the things that I should be doing at this time, right? All the books I wanted to read, the courses I wanted to take, but work hasn't really subsided. Right? It's actually gotten more intense. I've had more meetings, more work to do as we navigate through this. And I took on extra projects. It hasn't really felt like a break, right? So I want us to talk about today the distinction between being and doing, right? There's so much doing. And I think in our culture, in our Western, specifically the United States culture, we have such an emphasis on optimizing every moment, right? And so there's an invitation here to slow down. I had to give myself a break. Like, all right, I didn't complete every aspect of that week-long seminar that I did last week. I did the best I could. I haven't accomplished all the tasks that I wanted to accomplish. But I think what we are being asked to do, the invitation is to continue to do the things that enliven us. And I do believe that at the end of this, we should all have gained something new, a new skill, a new talent, a new self-expression, something that we come out of this renewed and refreshed. And that renewal and that refreshment is also in being more than doing. So there's doing, but doing, right action, falls out of being. So the invitation in I am the miracle is to step into a deep understanding of what it is to be, to just be. I sat last night on the porch and talked to my brother Stefan. We just talked, watched the sunset at that dusk hour. The rosy hue of the evening was setting, and we just sat there and talked. What a beautiful thing to do. How often do we just do that? I'm usually on a mission, and if I'm not actively engaged in something, I want downtime. But there was a little more space in order to just sit and talk with no purpose. We were just being. It was really lovely. So the idea here is, in the midst of all that's going on, let's take some time to just be, because the miracle is in the being. I am the miracle. The ceremony that we are doing on a planetary level is to give ourselves a break with all that we have to deal with, and then to cultivate a sense of oneness within us, right? Because if we are stepping into this anew after the lockdown is over, my invitation to you is, and the invitation for myself is, to step into a cultivated sense of oneness and unity. And that must come in ourselves first. There's an old saying, and actually it's even spiritual principle. The old saying is, I can't have peace in the world unless I'm at peace with myself. And that's a reflection of the spiritual principle, which is as within, so without. And so here we are in this opportunity to be, and in that being, we have the invitation to cultivate a sense of oneness within ourselves. For how can we realize in the emptiness of our meditative closed eye space, right? When we close our eyes and there's that blackness, how can we recognize the divine in that emptiness, in the emptiness of the space behind our closed eyes, if we can't cultivate a sense of divinity in everything that we see, in every event, in every person? So how can we look at the events that are currently going on and see God, see divinity in that event, in what's going on? We must cultivate it within ourselves. How can we see the divine as the activity of what's happening today if we don't start by cultivating through a sense of being with ourselves, a sense of oneness, and seeing the divinity within each of us? We start with the recognition that the divine is at the center of our being. It's at the center of our own being, and we awaken to the divine within us. This is the awakening to the miracle. This is the realization that I am the miracle, because the nature of the universe is that it creates out of itself more of itself without ever depleting itself, and it becomes the thing it creates. It imbues itself fully into the thing it creates. So all of the qualities of the universe, all the qualities of the divine, all the qualities of God, wholeness, perfection, harmony, balance, order, excellence, creativity, power, love, peace, balance, abundance, all of the qualities of the divine are in every aspect of its creation. Its divine pattern is reflected in everything, in every tree, in every leaf, in every grain of sand, in every atom, in every molecule. The same divine pattern is repeated, and it's in every cell of our bodies. And therefore, it is at the very center of our being. And this deep recognition of oneness is what Jesus called out in ecstasy when he declared, I and the Father are one. And it is not I that do the work, but the Father within. In the vernacular of the time, he was calling the divine a man, my Father. In our vernacular, we can say that I, in the presence of all of life, I, in the very life essence, the very life force, are one. And it is not I, but the energy of the divine within me that does the work. And so this is the invitation to realize that I am the miracle. To awaken to miracles is the realization of the divine essence at the center of every one of us. And we begin to cultivate a sense of oneness within ourselves, and that becomes reflected in the universe. Then we will see the same. We will see the same oneness in every event. How can we see oneness? How can we see God in what's happening right now? Because if the principle is God is in everything, the presence of the divine intelligence and wisdom is in everything, then there's only one activity. That's the principle, that there's a perfection, and that perfection is a presence, and that perfect presence is an activity, and it is the activity of every one of our lives. It's the activity of everything, every event, and every person. So how, no matter what are the appearances, can we see the divine in this moment, in this now moment? And it is a deep realization, as Jesus called out, I and the Father are one, is that God is not separate. The spirit of intelligence and wisdom and beauty and creativity and abundance and joy and harmony and peace are not separate from us. It's right where we are. This is the awakening to the miracle. This is why this talk is called I Am the Miracle. For the divine life is in everything and in everyone. Why was the great master teacher able to perform miracles, walk on water, turn the loaves into many and the fish into many? Because of this deep, deep realization. Deep in his bones, there was no doubt, no contra energy, that I and the presence of all are one, that right where I am, God is. Right where I am, intelligence is. Right where I am, abundance is. Right where I am, beauty is. Right where I am, creativity and excellence and joy and balance and harmony and peace are. And in that realization, we cultivate this sense of oneness. And we awaken to the miracle that right where I am, everything I need is. I have it all. Right here and right now. And in that realization, it begins to outpicture. In that realization, it begins to open the doors of manifestation, to rush in. This is our job. This is our work. This is the invitation at this time when we step into a deeper sense of being rather than doing. And then out of that beingness, out of that deep realization of oneness, right action will emerge. There is something for us to do. There is something for us to merge out of this with a new activity, a new skill, a new talent, a new way of being, a new self-expression. It's all here, but the being of it, the doing of it falls out of the being of it. Right action falls out of the awareness of oneness. Because as we say here at Rythmia, plant medicine done wrong answers every question that you ever have. But plant medicine done right eliminates the questions, because from a state of wholeness, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly if this is the right job, if this is the right person, if this is my life purpose. So this is the invitation. This is the ceremony that we're all in right now. We're all in ceremony, awakening to miracles, seeing who we've become, merging with our souls, healing our hearts. And this all happens in a deep realization of our oneness with the source of all of life. And then right action falls. And the next right action might be to pick up the phone and make a reservation to come to Rythmia and join us. Come into oneness when we return. We'll do that together. But today, we're just being. Today is a call to inaction. More gets done in inaction. And then the right action falls out of inaction, out of being. All right, that is our talk today. I am the miracle. You are the miracle. Right where you are, God is. Right where you are, beauty is. Right where you are, intelligence is. Right where you are, abundance is. Right where you are, health and wholeness and vitality are. And so it is.